scary just to be an Asian American woman anywhere in the U.S.
A lot of shock, a lot of anger, pain, getting tired of seeing the same news on the headline week after week.
It's heartbreaking, and yet it's not a surprise. This hate towards Asian Americans has been building for years. It's still really heartbreaking to see that people just let hate and racism and illogical discrimination take over and create such pain.
I'm angry at the excuses made for a white supremacist who murdered our siblings, and the inability of this country to decide if that slaughter of 6 Asian women was racially motivated.
I'm here tonight because I've always been told to stay silent. Showing up here tonight was my way of speaking up.
We were brought up to be obedient, to be silent. This is a critical time to actually take a stand, have our voices heard.
This is really urgent to speak up, hold space for what happened, and I think there's so much work we have to do to make sure that violence like this never happens again.
People don't realize the kind of microaggressions and the deep societal issues that have arisen from, things like fetishization and just blaming of the other. And people need to take a deeper look at what's happening in their communities and hold themselves more accountable. None of this is going to stop if you keep letting people just slide by because you're too afraid to encounter it.
Hi, hello. So, hi, I just got up this morning and I was watching the news about Atlanta shooting, about 6 Asian women and 3 of them getting shot. 3 of them died, and I'm just in so much shock, and there are so many things to talk about. First of all, racism and hate crime. They are Asian, and then they are from massage, so they're probably sex workers, or it's not definite. I'm not saying they are, but there's a chance they could be hated for as a sex worker. So it just this whole hate crime and racism and against Asian American, or Asian people anywhere in the world. And also another thing is, for me, it's with sexuality, let's say even if they are sex worker, then they just got hated because their job, and literally they got killed for it. And personally, it just made me cry, and I can totally resonate with that horror, with that feeling. For me, I actually went through a really toxic relationship, and so basically with my ex, he was extremely religious as well, and when I met him, I was still in my property job, so I was still doing 9 to 5, It's but then I changed my career. I went into adult industry and I started camming and everything, and he was not okay with my sexuality, and I was hated for that. It was, for my experience, I'm exactly the same girl, I'm exactly the same person. My education, the way I talk, and my understanding of the world, my hobby, nothing changed. I just changed my career. I just quit my office job and went into adult industry, and he hated me for that. I was getting so much hate, and I was getting so much misunderstandings, and it's really, really tough to say, but but it leads me, the last time he visits my place, I was naive enough to open the door, and it led me to be beaten. I was sent to AAE straight away. You know, I was literally like held on the bed and got beaten for like half an hour until my neighbor rescued me like that evening. You know, it just, in that situation, I was like, if I scream, then I end up getting beaten more. But if I don't scream, I know there's no way out of my flat. I was living alone, and I didn't even know any of my neighbors. And I just know, I just remember that feeling so clearly. You know, like I just remember that feeling so clearly, that I'm gonna die. Like, I'm gonna die if I don't scream. It's like every time I scream, I got hit harder, and I got suffocated, I got choked harder. But I know, like, if I don't do anything, I would die here. And I remember that feeling so clear, like I'm gonna die in this flat. And it's just something that's not even in my recognition. It's not even in my, you know, it's not even in my knowledge, because I grew up with such a normal life, and I could never imagine like a man beating woman. For me, that's not a norm, and that never happened to me in my whole fucking life. I never had an abusive relationship, and none of my friends, you know, ever had like this level of abusive relationship. You know, I remember, like, I was getting beaten and I thought I was gonna die. Then he smashed my house, you know, just smashed my laptop, smashed my phone, and then he was like, you know, smashed my mirror, smashed like the shelf, and he absolutely lost it. And I know, you know, if it was not for my neighbor that evening, like, I didn't even know them, but I know the fact, if it's not for my neighbors that evening who came to the door, knock on the door, you know, I really can't think what would happen that evening. So it just, you know, watching this news just brought up all the feelings, and I just can't stop crying straight away. It's a horrible, like, feeling. And yeah. So yeah, here I am, you know, I just wanna, like, speak my mind, you know. I think one thing is racism and the anti-Asian, you know, hate, like, all this, and another is, like, you know, people, or some extremely religious people, their hatred for, you know, their hatred for sexuality. Like, people, you know, still in this world, people don't think sex work is work, you know. For me, I'm super open-minded. Like, I personally, I don't do escorting, and I don't like it, but that's just because of my sexuality. Like, if I need to touch someone, if I need to, you know, have sex with someone, then I want intimacy. My sexuality is, like, behind the camera. I like to show off. I'm an exhibitionist. I love to show everything off behind the camera, and I feel free, I feel liberated, I feel creative, and I feel great. I love it. So I went into adult industry, and it's a big part of fulfilling my sexuality, you know, to discovering and then to live my sexuality. Like, but you know, but the most important thing is people do different things, you know. I'm in adult industry, they might be in adult industry, you know, and then we do different things. But then, you know, it's just the same. Like, I was doing property, somebody's doing finance, you know. We are just, it's, at the end of the day, it's just a job, it's just a work, you know. I mean, good for those girls actually good for everyone, you know, if they provide the service, then the service they make. Sorry, I'm just so emotional right now, but yeah, it's just a service. If they are there, they make people happy, you know, they didn't hurt anyone, they didn't break any rules, you know, it's literally just a service. And the whole world is so, and then there's just so much hatred towards sex work and towards sexuality. Like you know, ironic enough, my ex-boyfriend, the exact ex-boyfriend who looked down on me when I went into adult industry and do camming, and then degraded my whole work, degraded my sexuality so much, he is the very consumer the next day to find an escort to use the service, you know. So you see, like, he hated the industry, but he was the person enjoying the service and enjoying the benefit, enjoying the service from the industry. So yeah, I'm just feeling so emotional right now. But yeah, sex work is work, 100%. It's and come on, I really think we're just all doing different things in this world, you know. They are just all the same, you know. You sit in front of a laptop, I sit in front of a camera, you know, somebody do massage, you know, or like I fix a tower, you know, whatever. It's just we are doing something, you know, we're providing a service, or we're creating a product. At the end of the day, it's just a work. It's not that different. And the people need to understand that sex work is work, and these girls, they absolutely deserve respect and love and care, everything. And if there's anything wrong, that's the person who's being extremely religious. And yeah, and then I'm just thinking, you know, it's just heartbreaking to see, you know, there's so much hatred with sexuality in this world. Like, you know, like I firmly believe it's a beautiful, it's aesthetic, it's a positive thing in our life, and it makes such a difference for me. It completely liberates me, it makes me happy, it fulfills me, it makes me jump outside the box. I never feel so pretty, so attractive, so inspirational and full of ideas, you know. I just have all these ideas and have this energy and have all these like great things to share with the world. And I would never have all this if I never started camming, you know. I would be like, you know, sitting in front of a laptop and talking to, you know, just like talking to some dumbass about, like, yeah, how do you turn on the heater in this property, you know, like, what the fuck was that? It doesn't fulfill me. And I feel fucking proud I decided to quit my job and just fucking do it. So yeah, it just like, it's really shocking. But yeah, I just want to spread a bit of, you know, it's just from my personal experience, from my trauma. I just want to spread some voice from my understanding, especially with the hate to crime and sexuality. You know, I think sexuality is so beautiful. We need to celebrate it, you know, instead of suppressing it.